Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Deep Space Nine Reactions. I am Fred. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. Again, I do want to apologize for again we missed another Friday. This is going up on a Saturday morning, or at least being made available to you on a Saturday morning. Things happen, you know. Uh, things got a little bit hectic for me on the days that I normally would set aside for recording and uploading, and you know, life happens. Anyway, for those who are new here, let me explain the format. I watched the episodes of Star Trek Deep Space Nine in order from start to finish, meaning you are seeing my genuine reactions, something I watched many years ago, as well as anything that I remember, my commentary on the scenes as they take place, and so forth. It is completely unedited, unfiltered, unlike some other people who might have a target audience. I'm not putting this behind a paywall, but if you would want to be so kind to kick a brother a few bucks, there is a donation, a PayPal link in the description of the video. Again, if you'd be so kind. Any which way, as per usual, you don't hear the audio from the episode for DMCA purposes. It is obscured and blurred for the same reason, because we don't want to piss off the fine folks at Paramount, especially with their new corporate overlords. Because those are not fine people who use their left and right turn indicators. Also, I do have a bit of a head cold, so I apologize for that in advance. This week's episode is episode 5 of season 2 of DS9, and it's titled Cardassians. What I remember about this episode, it is primarily focused around the case of one particular Cardassian youth who was allegedly left behind when the Cardassians left Bajor prior to the events of the series. But that's a whole other conundrum as it relates to war orphans. It's like the Cardassians were on Bajor for about half a century, and needless to say, there a number of the occupying force was going to have relations with the locals, and so there were going to be like orphaned children along the way. But that's one particular aspect. But this episode does have a couple of twists and turns. Again, going off my memory, there's also will also be the second appearance of plain simple Garrick, and more of an indication of the characters more than what they seem. And this episode also will feature Gold Dukat popping back in. So with that said, you can sync this up with your own copy, so this way you know exactly what footage I am looking at, as I will be hitting play in 3, 2, 1. Hopefully we can get through this entire episode without the need of a digital copy. The Replimat with the Fringy offshoot cousin there, first scene. And there's Garrick wearing the same outfit as before. What is Rocasa juice? Apparently it smells. But it probably is like a tea or something. Eric had a demanding customer, a Bajoran engineer who comes to the shop. Guess what? Hey, who is Garrick's steady customers? I mean, yeah, it's like you get your clothes sewn by made by a Cardassian, but at the same time, Garrick probably has a reputation of being an expert tailor, so people come by and pick up suits all the time and everything. Once they trust Garrick, they're more open to talk with him about stuff. They may tell him things. Must they always play that game? Yes, they must always play that game. Bashir does have a very active imagination. We saw that in season 1. I do love this opening scene primarily because even though this is Garrick's only second appearance, it is made more than clear that they have had lunch together more than enough time to develop a bit of a banter back and forth between the two. Now, here's the thing regarding this young Cardassian here. He is supposed to be like somewhere between like what 12 and 14ish years old. Like, let's be generous, say like a youngish teenager, right? But he's played by an actor who was on Star Trek: The Next Generation in the season 5 episode Unification Part 2 as I think it's Titan. Same actor. And he's in his like early to mid 20s. Well, at least at the time of the episodes we're filming. Which is absolutely insane to me. But, that's kind of par for the course. I would comment on him biting Garrick, and that's probably why they went with a kind of like an olderish actor. I say old, it's like the dude was in his like the early 20s at the time the episode was filmed. But if you went with like a teenager actor, it may have been too hard or something. Who knows? But it's it's something that just sticks out to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm of the age where you had like actors in their early 20s playing teenagers, but they were often playing teenage characters that were in their late teens. Like you're talking like 16, 17, 18-ish, maybe 19-ish years old, where if you had someone in their early 20s, it kind of makes sense. Go back and look at shows like Saved by the Bell in the early seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think the oldest actor in at least in the Power Rangers class was Jason David Frank, while one of the youngest was Austin St. John. Also, happy birthday, or at least yeah, I believe it's his birthday this week. It's either November, like November, around November 6th, 7th, 8th. Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark. I believe he's entering his mid 70s. Still doing some stage performances from time to time out in California. Over top of shit just leapt off the lift there. But Garrick, there's no chance Garrick will cut the pants too long. He is very precise. Odo's moving to investigate. We don't have any Cardassian children on the station, and Odo didn't even waste any time. So like we don't. He's already off to investigate what the hell's going on. Yeah, and word gets to go to Cot really damn quick, as if he knows what's up. Also, a nice little thing, and they're using the wall communication panel instead of the one on the desk. It's also like what I also like here is that Cisco is choosing to sit on the edge of his desk and looking over at this far panel. It's a bit it's actually very unique. So but again, the timing of Gold contacting Cisco so soon after Garrick gets bitten is rather suspicious in its own right. Because it comes across, granted, I already know how the episode plays out. But looking at it from with like prior knowledge, um, it comes across that Gul Dukat, like obviously, A has people on DS9 because there's no way in hell Garrick is willingly communicating this back to him. Because again, if you know anything about Garrick and Gul Dukat's relationship, it's like it's not exactly a nice one. But again, it's the timing of everything. That's right. His name was Rugal, which a name that was actually more synonymous with King of Fighters. Yes, are the Bajasians raising the Cardassian orphans to hate Cardassians? It doesn't strike me as surprising there, because we kind of see that a lot these days, primarily with white Catholic evangelicals in the South doing that with any type of minority children that they happen to adopt, quote unquote. It's like that's kind of been a big thing here in America, going back as far as like the Civil War. It sadly is not uncommon, and it's something that still goes on today. Ah, nice overhead shot of the Dobble wheel. It's a hell of a makeup on this dude, and and again, the unique on the Dobble girls that they're not all Bajorans. They are often sometimes they are seen as different species from time to time. Excuse me. Dobble is easy to figure out. It's a random game of chance, but he has a passion for it. The dude's head is not just the guy's makeup and prosthetics, but on the top of the head is like it's kind of like bumpy and everything, almost like Krogan, like with the hair kind of serving like a nice frame piece. It makes me wonder if the actor actually has a bit of a bald spot up there to allow for that prosthetic piece to be on top of the head like that, almost looking like a fleshy yarmulke. All right, so this dude knows the father, and he offered him a job. He's not worth this Cardassian scum. But again, it's a unique perspective there. Again, especially in this case, as a trader, he's like has like seeing things from an exterior point of view, and he's probably seen other Cardassian children across Bajor. If you're a merchant and shipping goods and everything interstellarly, you probably have different spots that you do business with. And again, Cisco's handling of the situation is that he is a father, so he's trying to play this amicably as possible, as even keel as possible, because he was asked by the Cardassian government to look into the situation. And the kid dude did something wrong. He bit Garrick. It's like, I'm sorry. I say kid, but he's like Garrick didn't press charges. No, everything will be straightened out, but not in the way that you're imagining, Commander. Boy. Excuse me. Yeah, boy. Thank goodness for the mute button there, but y'all probably saw what happened just now. Credit to the actor playing the Bajoran father is like he is certainly like the weight and the emotion on his shoulders is quite is more than apparent. Like never bite the hand that feeds you, and in this case, the boy bit Garrick, and since Garrick wasn't feeding him, yeah, yeah. Bashir telling Garrick that Golden Cop was concerned with Garrick's well-being, and Garrick just laughing it off. Hey, the guy's doing something about war orphans? Does he? That's just perfect. Sure, you're missing everything, but that's an understatement there. Our attention to detail is the one thing about Cardassians that's like that is their particular trait as a species is that they are very clerical. Think about it. Go back and watch Duet. Maritza was a filing clerk. He was teaching, and he was like literally teaching a class on filing. Like who was in charge of the Cardassian withdrawal of Bajor? It was Gul Dukat. The boy could be returned, especially if he doesn't have any actual living family. And then here comes Bashir walking in, seeing the conversation. Oh, and he interrupts the conversation in a big bad way. If memory serves me right, and gets this goes right there. But here's the thing: Ducat already knows who the boy is related to. And the way Cisco just turns to look at Bashir, like when he says wants to chime in there, it is like, the hell are you doing, boy? But Cisco's like, okay, we're gonna let him. Oh, he's cooking. Let's let the doctor cook. You did not choose to leave them behind. Really? Civilian leaders have no direct authority over the military officers. And your old friend Garrick has been tutoring me in Cardassian social studies. And Ducat opposed withdrawing, which is something that comes up a number of times throughout the course of the series. When his interactions with Kira and especially in Waltz, when he and Cisco are stranded on that planetoid. Or do you have evidence to support that, Doctor? Garrick doesn't tell you what he thinks, but he will give you the information and point you in the right direction more often than not. Oh, Garrick. Here's the thing: Garrick knows Ducat is lying. Oh, don't apologize. It was been the high point of Cisco's day, Doctor. It's like it's great. Just don't do it again. Oh, Jadzia, if you just knew half the shit that went on between Garrett and Gul Dukat, there is certainly a lot there. However, Kira was certainly impressed. O'Brien enters his quarters and sees a Cardassian sitting on his favorite chair, and he is not too thrilled. Yes, set the table. Ollie's asleep. Oh, and O'Brien's racism comes out here. It was bred out of these Cardassians a long time ago. Oh, and Keiko's not going to have it. A very ugly thing you just said. That yeah, don't say it twice, Miles. You might be sleeping on the couch tonight. And using the replicator to make a Cardassian disc is a bit weird. Oh, but he is you doing the Bajoran prayers with the open hands like this. Oh, and then it goes closed and everything. Remember, Ferengis pray like this, Bajorans pray like this, and bring the hands together. What the hell is this? Yeah, there will be Cardassian recipes in the replicators because it was a Cardassian station. The look on O'Brien's face is like, nope. Keiko at least gave it a shot. And O'Brien is like, O'Brien tries it and is like, yeah, nope. And look at that. They're bonding. Oh, the Rugal didn't even try it. Again, if he's supposed to be like a teenager, he's fully damn grown and is looking O'Brien in the eye. Again, thank goodness for the mute button there. Sorry. Nice little cinematic panning shot here, going all the way around O'Brien from his right side to his left side, or was it from his left to his right? No, it would have been from his right to his left. Yeah, he wants to go home, but not to Cardassia. Yeah, I mean, like the question is how long he was on Bajor raises a huge question, though. Because he's supposed to be there like at a very young age. Now, unless we're going to the belief that Kardashians like sprout up like reeds, like Saiyans do. Because if you know anything about Dragon Ball, Goku like sprouted up like went from being like 3 feet tall to over six to like nearly 6 feet tall, almost overnight. Like there's nothing wrong with being Cardassian. Yes, there is. Like, how do his foster parents feel about Cardassians? But they hate other Cardassians, not him. Again, that's some fine little detail there. Oh, good. Wait, his adoptive parents followed the teaching of the prophets. Not the teaching, but I guarantee it's not the teaching of the prophets that Vedic Win would approve of. Because you just know Vedic Win would exactly be the type of Bajoran religious leader who would condone battering of the bottom of children. Now, this, yeah, I think that phrasing would work. O'Brien has met. Wait a second. Of all the Cardassians O'Brien has met and interacted with up until this point, he's basically classified all of them all the same. Literally, right up to this point of this conversation, he the only other civil conversation O'Brien has had with a Cardassian on screen was in the Wounded in TNG, and even that was a stretch. Hey, Bashir actually has some night wear, and it's like again those beds on just don't look comfortable. Come, doctor, get dressed. Of course, Garrick would have a key, quote unquote, to Bashir's quarters. Just going happy about being woken up in the middle of the night. That or Avery Brooks is not too thrilled about Cisco's night attire. Could have dragged Garrick to Cisco's quarters. One, I mean, there's a bit of sashiness with Cisco and how he's dealing with Bashir here. That's just wonderful. Now he has to deal with Ducat. It's nuts that Ducat is actually contacting Cisco at this time of night too. Granted, I know in terms of the timing of the scenes and everything, it makes sense, but it's weird. I wonder where, in terms of Cardassian rankings and positions, like I know a goal is like a captain. Glens are kind of like just below goals, like first officers. I know they have ranks like lieutenants and stuff. What the hell will be an exarch? Yeah, there's no evidence used to say that that Rugal was mistreated there. Yeah, but what about all the other Bajoran or Cardassian orphans on Bajor? And Garrick also has sources on Cardassia, so now that I think about it, so there could be like some overlapping there. And a wonderful exterior shot from the emissary for this Bajoran, for the look of Bajor. A human and a Cardassian walk into a Bajoran orphanage looking for information on Cardassian children. There's a. It sounds like a joke, but but it's the absolute truth. Don't recognize any of those names. It might be before your time. What are we trying to find out exactly, Garrick? That's a good question there. 8 years ago, when the Kardashians were still there, meaning the filing system should be in place still. And the Bajorans should know about keeping records since they were taught by the best. Really? Perhaps we have met. And the way like I was in the underground, yeah, and perhaps we have met because and the way Garrick delivers that line, like perhaps we have met, it's just great because again, if you know what Garrick was within the as relates to what he was before the start of the series, yeah, that line hits a whole other level. And again, another insight here that Garrick is more than what he seems, that he's able to fix a terminal. Tinker, Taylor, soldier, and spy. It's a simple tailoring tool, can be very useful. I like the fact that Bashir is actually playing with it too, checking to see how he can see through it. Because Garrick found exactly what he's looking for. Because he can pull up everything. And here we go. Here, a Cardassian young girl coming out and seeing Garrick there. And not just one, two Cardassian children there. Excuse me, sir. Have you come to take us back to Cardassia? But yeah. And you know that probably hit a bit hard there for Garrick. That there are actual legit Cardassian orphans that were left behind there. Like, but again, with Rugal, it's all like an elaborate plot to some extent there, which it gets revealed in the third act here. And Bashir has, and here's where Bashir puts his foot down. Because Garrick is either going to talk or they're going to sit there and float around. But Garrick has totally misread the room here. Oof, boy, sorry. But what this game is about, Garrick, time for you to give some information, a little bit something more substantial. Like, why do you think the Kardashians left Bajor? It was maybe a decision made by the civilian leaders, but it's not exactly true. Now, one of the most Cardassians' most notable civilian leaders is now en route to the station. And like, yes, he, like this Podar, Rugal's actual father, is a civilian leader. He's on his way back because he found that his son is still alive, and that he was, and is responsible for giving the order to abandon Cardassia, for the Cardassians to pull out of Bajor, leaving all the orphan Cardassian children behind. Like, the orphan boy is not an orphan boy, but someone's long lost son. Again, it's rather nefarious. Coincidences happen every day, but you don't trust the coincidences because part A can A to B may lead to C, but C can sometimes deviate and skip D and go all, and we could end up at E. And then E can take and at E you can take a side trip and go to G. And from G you can go to J. And it's like it's nuts. And O'Brien here, as a father himself, talking with Podar, is again, this is a wonderful scene outright. Why would they change his name? Like, when was the last time he saw him? On his 4th birthday. So again, when you look at Rugal in this episode and realize he is supposed to be 12 years old and he is a fully grown man, it makes you go, what the hell was up with Cardassian eugenics, or what was up with the actual casting? I mean, Aaron Eisenberg was significantly older than Sarah Lofton, but was able to play like a teenage Nog because of his short stature. So if you're going to cast like an adult ish, to play a kid, you need to make sure that the heights or anything evens up. I know some people are going to say, well, there are some 12-year-olds and everything that look like fully grown adults. Let's look at the case of some of the Little League World Series that's happened, and not to mention a lot of the controversy around that, because it turned out some of those 12-year-olds turned out to be 18-year-olds. It's like, so if anyone wants to throw that at me, there's my response to it. But this is what we learn from Podar here, that family is everything to the Cardassians. And again, that is something that will come into play much later when Ziel is introduced. With what was it, season 4? Yeah, in season 4, Ziel gets introduced, and then will later on go on to be played by like 3 different actresses. But matter of fact, Ducat loses his entire family because of Ziel. And one of the hardest hitting things with Damar in season 7 is when his family gets wiped out by the Dominion. Oh, and as we just had a great close up shot of Rugal. You know what actually stands out? You actually can get a hint of the dude actually has a mustache. It's like he has a little bit of a mustache. It's just a bit noticeable despite the makeup, but you can actually see it a little bit there. So again, the casting for Rugal was nuts. Rugal does not believe this is his actual father, but Podar's like, he's excited, and like he wants his son back, and he brought pictures. And, because his house was attacked, and it's like his house was attacked, and the mother was dead and everything. So Podar is like just going through it. He's an emotional wreck. Yeah, he left Bajor. Oh, so he left Bajor because of everything. Rugo saying like, you deserve it, because you're a Cardassian. He's a butcher. No, he's a baker. No, a candlestick maker. And the only again, I'm trying to think as to why they casted someone so old to play again, someone who's 12ish years old. Because like in terms of the emotional weight of the things Rugal says in that scene, and not calling his father a butcher, and that he'll never go back to Cardassia, and everything of that sort, makes is like you would probably get the same like bad delivery from a young actor around that same playing 12ish or 14 years old. Maybe because I would say because of the prosthetics and everything, but there was 2 Cardassian children seen on in the Bajoran orphanage, so it's kind of weird. Is here. Cisco's going to have to be lead a hearing here, and put the credit to Badar is like he's okay with Cisco overseeing the hearing, because hey, he recognizes that Cisco is a father, and Ducat magically chooses to show up too. So like things get heavier and heavier here in this episode. 347177.2. It was a Tuesday. I'm sorry. You know what? We're gonna get the star dates. It's always going to be a Tuesday, folks. They have found nothing there on that pink DOS screen. What it looks like there. Like, yeah, and the timing of Ducat's arrival again is super suspicious in its own right. Yeah, damn. And Ducat saying he's there representing the children. Yeah, I highly doubt that. Because if everything plays out the way Ducat wants, it's like Padar is going to be end up being disgraced because of giving the order to leave the children behind when his own son ended up being alive and everything. So the past is quite relevant, Ducat, and Ducat interjecting himself is quite odd. And Cisco is going to run these hearings, and Ducat really has no say in the matter. But Garrick is never wrong. 7,420 files were searched. A file will never have been left to be found. Yeah, like the file would have been purged, and Garrick, because Garrick knows how Ducat thinks, because he would have purged the file himself in that situation. Find her, and he already did. Yeah, he already found it. It's like when Garrick knows what he's looking for, he goes all in. Like, it's been 8 years. Of course, he's not gonna. No, I will say this. I actually do have some strong memories of when I was like in my very, very young years and stuff, particularly in terms of places where I lived and such. And they were able to get in touch with the lady that handled Rugel's adoption. There were several Cardassian girls at the time too. They told his name that all the other Cardassian children that were found on the streets by Bajorans. Rugel was brought in by a Cardassian. Oh, it was brought in by a female Cardassian woman officer. And that she was attached to the command post at Terak Nor, and the smug look on Garrick's face tells it all. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, it's like Garrick has a shit-eating grin like the cat that got the canary. And it's also interesting here that O'Brien has is also offering testimony here in this hearing. And then here comes Bashir and Garrick, and for the first time we get Garrick and Ducat in the same scene. Oh boy. Like Ducat ain't happy. Ducat ain't happy. As soon as the discovery of Rugal become public knowledge on Cardassia, but the government has not revealed that information yet. But Hudar knows he's disgraced and it's going to be the end of his political career. The, the timing of everything. Is there a yeah? There's going to be an inquiry into the Kardashians that were involved in the coup, and the Goldie is going to be a key witness in that hearing. Oh, yeah. Cisco for the second time has lost control of the doctor. All right, but she was like, all right, let's talk about the children. And and he's getting and Bashir's getting all up in Ducat's face. Yeah, he's cooking. Bashir is cooking. Like, where are? Yeah, he's trying to find the records on Rugar's records, but they have gone missing. Yes. But they found someone working at the center at the time Rugal was brought in. No, Ducat's not going to know it. But the Jomant Lusan remembers who was brought when Rugal was brought in. The woman knew who Rugal was. Oh, is there a question? Question is whether or not this officer deliberately left the son of Kotan Bodar at the relocation center with the knowledge that he was not an orphan, even with the hopes of someday humiliating Padar. And Ducati swallows like, oh no, he knows he's caught. Yeah, I do. Do you know what base is on their application named Terak Nor? The space station was Terak Nor. Yeah, Jomant Lusan clearly remembers that the officer who brought Urugo in was attached to the Terak Nor, working for the command post. And here, exit stage right. The Ducat and Garrick do not say a single word, but they look at one another. And Ducat is like, you tell us like, you son of a bitch. Garrick just smiles. Like, who was in charge of Terak Nor 8 years ago? For the record, it was Gul Dukat who was in charge of Terak Nor. I just love the ending of this episode. And again, Garrick does not say anything. He just has this smug look on his face like this the entire time because he just knows he just literally, you can be figuratively speaking, just kicked Dukat in the balls over this entire situation. Unfortunately, Rugal was in the middle of the was caught up in the middle of of a conspiracy, and he has no choice but okay, go back with his natural father. It's a stalemate on both sides there. Like Podar's political career is salvaged because of all of this. Yeah, like use your influence here. You're lucked out here because of all this. That just use your influence to help the other Cardassian kids that were left behind. Rugal is not too he's not too thrilled about going, but at the very least, he's kind of a nice scene here that where he kind of bonded with O'Brien a little bit there. It's like gotta reconnect with literally his long lost son after 8 years and everything. It's not it's rough. Bashir has one more question. Why did you want to, why does Ducat want why did Garrick want to expose Ducat? Truth is in the eye of a beholder. Garrick does not believe there's anything, there's no such thing as the truth. He prefers a straight line and cutting the crawls. But what he says there first is like, the truth is in the eyes of the beholder. Like, it's like, the truth is all there. You just have to put the pieces together and realize the obvious. Oh, and it's like, and it's clear that Garrick does have a Bajoran customer because he was able to greet someone there. It's like, oh, it's like you're sued and everything. Here, let me just adjust this for you and make it look better. This is such a fantastic episode. And I do apologize for the pauses here, and if you were watching it outright, you had to, as I say, clear the old throat. This is a fantastic episode with a nice slow build. I know some folks have taken issue with the episode with how a lot of it doesn't like kind of where allegedly it loses the plot in like the direction that it takes with turning it into a political plot, but at the same time realizing that it ties in directly with the opening 3 episodes of season 2. That it ties in. It's like on Cardassia, there is an investigation going on as it relates to the Cardassian involvement in the recent Bajoran attempted coup. And it's like, oh, okay, because remember, in the opening 3 episodes, there is a scene where a Cardassian Gul is literally signing, well, pressing, giving like a thumb scan and not on a pad, literally leaving a paper trail connecting the Cardassian military to the weapons that were being smuggled to the Circle. So yeah, after everything that happened involving the Bajoran coup, you don't think the Cardassian government themselves, the civilian leadership, which is often at odds with the military leadership, is not going to want to find out what the hell was going on? Come on now. So yeah, so Padar being introduced as in his one and done appearance is, yeah, he was involved. Like his he was living on Bajor. He was an exarch over a province. Base was destroyed. His wife was killed. He thought his son was killed. Turns out the son was literally abducted. Ends up in an orphanage, and it's like, okay, maybe use this as a long term piece being placed. Where it's like, Ducat to make a political move against someone who opposes him. So again, it kind of when you look at it, it's again it lays true to what Garrick was talking about in the closing scene. It's like, yeah, don't believe in the truth. Like coincidences happen every day, but you don't believe and don't trust the coincidences because oftentimes you look at all the crumbs that were all the little pieces will fit together, and when they do fit together, the actual truth is far more devious and far more unbelievable than one could ever imagine. So, so yeah. Again, I absolutely love the episode, and this is also a great episode as Bashir got to cook not once but twice, and like literally verbal sparring with Gul Dukat. One has to remember that Alexander Siddig at the time was like considered like a very kind of like a youngish, actor. Is like he's in his like I think it was like his mid to late 20s at this point, and he's going first toe to toe with Mark Alamo, who plays Gul Dukat. Not just in the view screen conversation halfway through the episode, but also face to face there. And also credit to Mark Alamo as relates to the subtleness and some of the things he does. Like he's not where he doesn't have to say anything, but you can just tell that Dukat does not love the fact that Garrick was entered the room during that hearing. And that when Bashir were just laying out fact after fact after fact, asking every single poignant question possible, the little swallowing of nervousness, like where he realizes that he is basically dead to rights in the hearing, and like any hope that he would have had and any leverage that he's hoping that he was going to get regarding the hearing as it relates to the facts that he thought that were the only fact that he thought that Cisco was going to know. It's just wonderful. It's a very very underrated episode, and you kind of can tell it's like it starts slowing and slowing, and then as you can tell, it's like I got generally more and more excited rewatching it. It's like realize all the individual pieces and everything. It's just fantastic. Um, so with that said, we'll wrap this up here. Thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe if you're so inclined. Since this is being posted on a Saturday, later tonight we are going to be doing Sonic Racing Crossworlds. There's the Like a Dragon crossover festival happening. I've already completed it, got the items, but we are going to be grinding for the Pododon tickets to help towards one of the last achievements I need in the game. Hopefully we can get a lot of races done and earn several tickets to put a dent into unlocking horns for vehicle customization. On Sunday night, we will be playing Persona 5. Then on Monday and Tuesday, we got Virtue's Last Reward, where we will be first finishing, get the Luna ending, and then make our progress towards the Phi ending. Hopefully, with luck, we should be finishing Virtue's Last Reward this upcoming week at some point. And Wednesday, if Iceman is available, more likely Anthem will be making its return. So we'll see how that plays out. With that said, tighten your friendship bracelet, stay safe, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Good night. Goodbye, folks.